This case starts with something so small. It should have ended in minutes. A simple seatbelt stop becomes something else entirely. One choice, then another. And suddenly, it spirals into a felony. And when she steps into Judge West's courtroom, everything changes. What she says next doesn't just shift the mood. It turns this into a moment you won't forget.
It doesn't matter if you were pulled over for no, listen to me. This is why we're hearing stuff all over in the news. It doesn't matter what you think. If a cop pulls you over, then you take the ticket for not wearing your seatbelt. This is all over not wearing your seatbelt. And here you are in felony court and you're still not taking responsibility.
I was pulled over because I was in a I stay in the area. I was pulled over because...
Hang on. Don't talk yourself out of this again. Because if you want to talk yourself out of it, we'll put it on the trial docket and we'll get it done in a few weeks.
Alright, today we're in Judge West's courtroom and we've got an entitled brat who simply refuses to understand the word responsibility. A full-grown adult acting like a toddler at a traffic stop. No listening, no respect. Just a full tantrum like someone took away her juice box. This wasn't even a complicated encounter, a routine stop, simple questions, and she decided to treat it like she was starring in her own action movie. Now she's standing in front of a judge because her ego wanted to fight a seatbelt ticket, and the best part is she still can't accept that her actions put her here. She wants everyone else to be the villain except the one person actually responsible, herself. Do you think she'll finally learn a lesson or double down on the bad decisions? Let's go ahead and dive in.
Refused to go along with the deal because she didn't accept responsibility for the crime.
Uh-huh.
And then we came back and she did accept responsibility, so we replayed for the same.
Okay.
There was a different attorney involved on the first time, and then I was appointed.
Yeah, she pled in May of last year. With full deferred with Tom Burbank.
So nothing else was done as far as them talking to Miss Johnny about
No.
acceptance of responsibility.
The only thing Ms. Johnny said, they called and asked her for her updated address, and that was it.
Okay. So, Miss Johnny, I'm going to ask you again, and I know we probably went through this before. First of all, you're Kirsten Johnny?
Yes.
And Miss Johnny, I want to make sure, because in that previously you said you didn't do it, you were forced to do it because of your financial, you were forced to plea because of your financial situation, and that it wasn't fair. And so tell me what your position is now.
I never really said I didn't do it. I said it was an accident.
Okay.
I still feel the same way a little bit.
All right.
I'm not gonna say I do feel the same way.
Now I understand, but you're not disagreeing that you didn't.
I said it was an accident. Somebody grabbing you by your foot. That's like somebody accident hit you in the back of your head. You're gonna have something that's normal.
Well, right, because you were not complying with what they told you to do to get out of the car, correct?
I was pulled over because I was in a I stay in the area. I was pulled over because...
Hang on. Don't talk yourself out of this again. Because if you want to talk yourself out of it, we'll put it on the trial document.
Right here, you can hear they're not even on the same page. She keeps arguing about the stop, but the judge is talking about what happened after the stop. When someone keeps fighting the wrong thing, it usually means they're avoiding the truth. And if you listen closely, his patience is slipping, sentence by sentence.
Okay, and we'll get it done in a few weeks and let a jury decide. Look at me. I'm actually trying to help you right now. Okay? If you had complied and just done what he asked you to from the very beginning of that stop, none of this would have happened. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yeah.
No, do you agree? Listen to the question. Do you agree with that statement or do you disagree with that statement?
I don't want to lie.
You don't like it, do you? You don't think he should have done that?
It's not that. I feel like we was pulled over for no reason. If you follow...
It doesn't matter if you were pulled over for no... Listen to me. This is why we're hearing stuff all over in the news. It doesn't matter what you think. If a cop pulls you over, then you take the ticket for not wearing your seatbelt. This is all over not wearing your seatbelt. And here you are in felony court and you're still not taking responsibility for the fact that he said, hey, ma'am, do this. And you said, I don't think you should have pulled me over, so I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And I'm going to lodge my foot against the door, and I'm not going to get out. I'm going to make you drag me out of my car, and then I'm going to kick you because you shouldn't have pulled me over in the first place. When all you had to do was get your ticket, go to JP court, and try to fight it there legally. But here you are in felony court for a second-degree felony instead. So do you want to try to tell that story to a jury, or do you want to accept some responsibility today?
I don't feel like going to trial.
You don't feel like going to trial. Well, there's two parts to that question. Do you feel like accepting responsibility?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think it would be a better idea next time you're pulled over to comply and just do what they ask you to?
Yes.
And Your Honor, just for the record,
Good grief, this entire situation was a masterclass in how to make your own life harder. All she had to do was listen to the officer and keep the attitude to herself, and none of this would have snowballed like it did. Not wearing a seatbelt is already reason enough for—
This is where she finally says she'll take responsibility. But you can hear the hesitation. Judges pick up on that. The tone, the pauses, the uncertainty. And by now, this isn't about a seatbelt at all. It's about whether she can follow basic instructions without turning a small situation into a storm.
an officer to pull you over, so her whole "you had no reason to stop me" routine instantly falls apart. Then she goes full defense mode when asked for her license, like she's being personally attacked instead of asked to follow the law. Showing identification is the most basic requirement during a traffic stop, and she acted like they asked her to donate a kidney. The officer stayed calm, she decided to perform. And in the legal world, attitude doesn't beat evidence or the actual law. Now fast forward to court, this is where you'd expect a little humility, maybe some accountability, but nope. She's switching up her pleas mid-sentence like she's playing roulette. Guilty 1 minute, not guilty the next, as if the judge is going to magically forget why she's here. That's not strategy, that's confusion. And it truly baffles my mind how some people choose the hardest possible route when the easy one was literally right in front of them. If she had just complied at the stop, signed the ticket, and kept her cool, she would have been in and out of the legal system in minutes. But instead, she doubled down on being difficult, and now she's sitting in front of a judge who has seen this type of behavior 1,000 times. When you can't take responsibility with the officer, and you still can't take responsibility in court, that tells the whole story.
Miss Johnny did review the video with me in my office, so she is aware of what all transpired. She saw it.
Do you have any reason to believe she shouldn't be pleading to this from what you saw?
I do not.
So, you even saw how you acted. It's probably a good idea. All right. I'm going to find that you previously entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney. I hope you prove me wrong on this, because I really have some concerns that you're going to be able to be successful, because you're not taking responsibility and you're not wanting to follow directions and things like that. And you're about to have 4 years of having to follow directions on probation. So I'm going to defer all proceedings for 4 years. You're ordered to pay a $500 fine. You're ordered to follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. If you do that, this is a great opportunity today, because you are not a convicted felon. You don't have that conviction on your record. And if you successfully complete it, follow all of the rules, you will never have a felony conviction. At the end of your probation, the case will actually be dismissed. The other side to that, though, and this is really important for you to understand, because we've had this conversation now so many times, I'm not likely to forget you. And you can ask anybody, and Ms. Holmes has known me for a long time. It's not usually good when I remember people, right? So if you violate your probation, you'll get brought back into court. You could be found guilty.
Here's the real wake-up call. 4 years of probation. Rules. Deadlines. 0 room for mistakes. The judge isn't sure she can handle it, not because of the original charge, but because her behavior keeps repeating. One slip, just one, and this deal turns into a felony with real prison time attached.
Guilty, which means you become a convicted felon, and I can sentence you to prison anywhere in the range of punishment, which is up to 20 years in prison for this. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, so you've waived your right to appeal. You need to have a seat here in the courtroom. Probation will go over your paperwork as soon as they're ready.
Okay, and you said that I'm not considered a conviction felon, but I was told that even though you say that, it's still gonna be on my record.
So the arrest is on your record. The arrest will always be on your record. But so if you're asked a question on a, filling out an application for a job or something, if it says, have you been convicted of a felony? The answer is no. But if it says, have you ever been charged with a felony, or are you on probation for a felony? You are going to have to say yes to that. But the conviction part is still better than nothing, not having that conviction, right?
Yes.
Okay, have a seat in the courtroom. Watch for probation to call you up.
If she couldn't follow basic directions during a 10-minute conversation with the judge, who in their right mind believes she'll follow directions for 4 years on probation? Probation isn't just be good and go home. It's check-ins, classes, fines, conditions. Miss one and you'll be right back in front of the same judge, except the next sentence won't be so friendly. Hopefully she takes this as a wake-up call, listens to the judge's advice, and stays out of trouble so that conviction...
So here's where she lands. No felony conviction, at least for now. But 4 years of probation stand between her and a clean finish. If she follows every rule, the case disappears. Slip once, and she returns as a convicted felon facing up to 20 years. This case shows how fast something tiny, a seatbelt ticket, can turn into something life-changing. If this case made you think, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more courtroom breakdowns like this.
Doesn't follow her everywhere she goes, but based on everything we just watched, the confidence level isn't high. You can only play the everyone is against me act for so long before the system reminds you that reality hits harder than denial. What do you guys think? Did the judge make the right call with probation? Or should she have spent a little time in jail to actually learn something? And do you think we'll be seeing her again in another courtroom video down the road? Because right now, she looks like someone who thinks consequences are optional. Personally, I hope she proves everyone wrong, but history tells us this won't be her last court appearance. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.